Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. First of all, I would like to tell you that if you are watching this video first time, subscribe my channel to see my more upcoming videos on analysis of different commodities and equity indices. And second important thing is to watch this video till its end to understand this story to take your decision. Your one like will motivate me to be regular and working more hard for you. Let us start the day to analyze the movements of S&P 500 futures in different time frames. So friends, here you can see a daily chart of S&P 500 futures. Friends, this is the same chart in which I presented my last analysis on S&P 500 futures, in which I explained about the support and resistance levels of S&P 500 futures. Here you can see the S&P 500 futures started to move upward from the levels of 2729 on April 22nd, 2020, and since then we have seen a sharp bouncing move up to the levels of 2955, where the S&P 500 futures found stiff resistance. As I've already explained about this level, that the S&P 500 futures may find stiff resistance here on every upward move. And here you can see that there is no doubt that the growing hopes over the reopening of most of the global economies till Wednesday, but here I was feeling scarier over this sudden surge in global equity markets in my last video, which I posted on April 26, 2020. I expressed my concern over this surge in global equity markets, as I find that it is difficult to sustain the rally unless the economy actually opens up. And finally, this reality came on the front seat on Thursday when the US President Mr. Donald Trump expressed his views over the trade relations with China. He threatened to place new tariffs on Beijing. Here you can see that the S&P 500 futures started the day on April 30th, 2020 with the same level where it ended on April 29th, but Wall Street witnessed heavy sell-off on Friday after the Donald Trump revived a threat of new tariffs against China in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has brought global economies to a grinding halt. All the three major indexes of the US equity markets closed down well over 2.5%, and for the week they all lost ground. Here I find that this month of May is often marked by sell-offs, and on the month's first day, with jitters on the rise as some of the US states began easing coronavirus shutdowns. Here you can see that the S&P 500 futures started on Friday with a gap down opening at 2871 and a high at 2879, and tested the lows of 2811 and finally closed at 2830. I find that this bearish candle in a daily chart looks evident enough to be an advent of a steep fall ahead, which may continue during this month amid growing concern over the rebirth of tariff trade war tussle between the two major economies of the world, especially at the time while the whole world has already been passing through the toughest time amid growing fear of COVID-19, which has resulted in global lockdowns and a complete shutdown of global supply chain. So here I find that another gap down opening on the first trading session of the upcoming week will confirm the continuity of this steep fall up to the levels of 2776, which seems to be an immediate support for S&P 500 futures, from where we may expect a bouncing move up to the levels of 2821. I find that the levels of 2828 may be an immediate resistance for S&P 500 futures now, and the second resistance will be at the levels of 2884. Here I find that a breakout move below the levels of 2678 may push the S&P 500 futures in a more bearish territory during the upcoming week, and on the upper side only a sustainable move above the levels of 2929 can only turn the sentiments a little bullish once again, and the condition will be only one. I find that only the positive outcome on COVID-19's successful biological cure will maintain this uptrend in S&P 500 futures, because only a positive news on COVID-19's biological cure may turn the bearish sentiments in S&P 500 futures during the upcoming weeks. But till we don't find any successful cure of COVID-19, we will see the S&P 500 futures to break this final support at the levels of 2683. Here find that a breakout below this level will result in a sharp downward move where we may see the S&P 500 futures may find some support at the levels of 2626, but once the S&P 500 futures make a downward move below the levels of 2560, we'll see the S&P 500 futures to see some consolidation at these levels. But here I find that the bearish sentiments will prevail in S&P 500 futures in that case. Now let us try to analyze the current position of S&P 500 futures in a daily chart with the help of Ichimoku cloud. Here you can see that the S&P 500 futures closed the week here, and we are just above the upper end of Ichimoku cloud, where I find that the S&P 500 futures may find some immediate support at the levels of 2787, where the S&P 500 futures will try to defend this level during the upcoming week, from where we can expect a bouncing move from these levels. But I find that a sustainable move inside this Ichimoku cloud will result in a steep fall in S&P 500 futures when the S&P 500 futures may test the lower end of this Ichimoku cloud during the upcoming week, where I find that the final support will be provided by the lower end of Ichimoku cloud from the levels of 2560, where we may expect a bouncing move once again during the upcoming weeks. Here I find that if the S&P 500 futures are not able to defend this final support at the lower end of Ichimoku cloud, we will see the S&P 500 futures to enter into the bearish territory below the levels of 2545. So friends, here I find that the need of the hour is to keep a visible eye over the geopolitical developments, because here I find that we may once again test the lows of 2018, when the tariff trade war tussle between the US and China started in September 2018, which resulted in a sharp downward move. So for this, I would like to show you the movements of S&P 500 futures in a monthly time frame. Here you can see that the S&P 500 futures have already tested the lower end of Ichimoku cloud in a monthly chart, when the S&P 500 futures tested the lows of 2173 on March 23rd, 2020. No doubt that we witnessed a sharp recovery from these levels, but here I find that once again, if the S&P 500 futures witness the same steep fall what it has already witnessed during the months of February and March, here you can see that the S&P 500 futures have already given a bearish signal. This bearish starting of May 2020 looks evident enough to continue this steep fall in the S&P 500 futures, when the S&P 500 futures may find immediate support during this fall at the upper end of the Ichimoku cloud, when the S&P 500 futures may try to defend the upper end of this Ichimoku cloud in the monthly time frame. But here I find that a breakout below the lower end of this Ichimoku cloud may push the S&P 500 futures below the levels of 2091 during the upcoming months. Here you can see that the levels of 2132, when the S&P 500 futures found stiff resistance during the highs of 2015, will provide sufficient support to S&P 500 futures during this fall. Now let us see the movements of S&P 500 futures in the hourly time frame. So here in the hourly time frame, you can see that the S&P 500 futures have already broken the support of Ichimoku cloud and currently at the much lower levels below the Ichimoku cloud. Here I find that a gap down opening below the levels of 2776 during the upcoming week will result in a sharp downward move, where the S&P 500 futures may break the strong support level at the levels of 2715. So friends, be ready to see an action in recent foreign features during the upcoming weeks. So friends, if you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.